Well, tonight, the fallout over the scandal at Augusta Fells Savage High School in West Baltimore has extended to the Maryland State Department of Education.
As Project Baltimore's Chris Papst explains, the school was apparently keeping students on the rolls, even though some had not attended for years. But when the state conducted an enrollment audit at Augusta Fells 2 years ago, it didn't find anything wrong.
It's a report that sent shockwaves through Baltimore City Schools earlier this month. Serious allegations of grade changing and inflating enrollment at Augusta Fells Savage in West Baltimore. First exposed by Project Baltimore 6 months ago, and now confirmed by City Schools' own investigator. The principal and assistant principal gone. The public trust shaken. And as Project Baltimore first told you last week, the problem is not isolated to one school.
I believe that it is happening at many schools.
Angel Lewis, a former Baltimore City principal, says she reported enrollment issues at her school, Claremont Middle High, back in 2016 after learning she had 5 dead students on her roster. She says the findings at Augusta Fells should not have come as a surprise.
This wasn't new to city schools. This knowledge of what was going on at Claremont as well as the other schools, it isn't firsthand knowledge to them.
But even if City Schools was aware of enrollment issues at least 2 schools, the state safeguards to prevent this from happening apparently failed in the case of Augusta Fells. Within this report, City Schools outlines how serious the problem was at Augusta Fells and how taxpayers may have sent about $1.5 million to the school to educate 100 students who had questionable enrollment status. That money may have to be paid back to taxpayers. But take a look at this. On page 3 of the report, it explains in the fall of 2019, the Maryland State Department of Education, MSDE, audited City Schools enrollment and found all Augusta Fells Savage students whose files were reviewed met state funding requirements. In other words, the very year that Augusta Fells enrollment was inflated by as many as 100 students, the state did an enrollment audit and didn't catch it.
It's concerning that the watchers in this case are not very good at watching.
Those 100 students at Augusta Fells make up about 25% of the school's entire student body. Project Baltimore asked the education department how an audit didn't flag it. They declined an interview, but told us over the phone the audits are not designed to catch fraud. If someone is purposefully trying to game the system on a small or even large scale, the state explained, MSDE's audit would not catch it.
If they can't do their job, then they shouldn't have their job.
Sean Kennedy with the Maryland Public Policy Institute.
There's something amiss, there's something rotten in Annapolis when the state board can't find even what appears to be egregious fraud. This is not a few digits here or there.
When Fox 45 News first reported on enrollment issues at Augusta Fells in April, Kennedy called on the Inspector General of Education to launch a statewide investigation into enrollment issues. The IG, Rick Henry, released a statement saying he is aware of the issue and is looking into it.
The fact that students are being ill-served already in Baltimore and that Baltimore City Schools are failing to educate those that actually exist means that the taxpayers are wasting even more money per student to get worse outcomes.
I'm Chris Papst, and this is Project Baltimore.
Now, Project Baltimore continues to stay on this developing story. In the coming weeks, we'll take you through the stunning allegations this former principal says she reported at her school and why she believes she was targeted because of it.